Hi, how's it going? I've been gone just for a couple of days. I went to San Francisco for a very quick trip. It was like a day, and then I came back. I ate at one of my favorite restaurants called like Ipudo. There's actually one in New York. If I do end up moving to New York, I'm not saying I am, but if I did, I would certainly live near. There's an Ipudo in West End. I think there's a couple, so just we'll put that on the back burner. Anyway, I want to talk for a second about how my political stance in regard to all of the things happening with Diddy. And you might be like, why? like, why? Why are you sharing this information? Who cares? I actually care. And the reason that I care is because I don't take myself as, I don't see myself as an individual living in a place where the things that people are doing around me don't impact me because they do. And that is something that I've had to learn the hard, like the easy way and the hard way. Which is another reason, like, I don't separate myself from the Black community. Okay, like, so when I see a lot of things happening which are like on the community level, right, they're like statistics, and they're like patterns that are happening to multiple people, especially multiple Black people being influenced in particular ways. I talk about those things because I see it impacting my community, right? Anyway, so let's go back to the Diddy allegations because I want to talk about the way that this is impacting this community. If you haven't seen the video that I made that was like, I wonder if Diddy's children are going to have to change schools after all of the things that happened with Cassie. And in that video, the reason that I made that video was because I thought some things were really strange. We, as a person who grew up listening to, like, I know who Cassie is. I listen to Cassie's music, right? Like, I know who she is. And I mean, I'm not saying I care too much about her in adulthood, right? I don't think she's very interesting. She's kind of boring as a mother. Like, I don't see, but that doesn't change the fact that, like, I know who she is, and I would want her to be well in society. Like, that's what I would hope for her. Like, that's it. Like, but then to hear that, like, some awful shit was happening during the time when, like, I was a fan of hers, and that these things didn't happen in, like, isolation. And what I mean by that is, like, the things that were happening to her, it's almost impossible that all of the people affiliated with, like, Bad Boy Records, and even some of Diddy's exes, like, hate to say it, but like Lori Harvey and the what is his name, Justin's mother, or Quincy's mother, all these people, there's no way that all of this behavior that Cassie is talking about, it sounds like he has a whole history of all of this behavior, and that he was doing it in silence because he was literally contracting other people, like sex workers and lots of other people in kind of their community, to participate in this. So that's why it feels like, even though we are shocked as, like, I don't know, end users or something, music consumers, all the people who seem to be there aren't shocked. And now all these things are coming out about blackmail, and how, they'll put people at a party and release a video or something, and then they'll be like, if you talk, then I'm gonna release the video. Well, someone has to talk. Like, because it's gotten, well, I don't actually, maybe no one has to talk. And maybe this is actually the point, and I think we should start taking note of people's silence. I feel like what's going on with Diddy right now in Hollywood, any person who's like kind of a Black celebrity who's not really just saying anything about it or even acknowledging that it's happening, I would like really look at them with like a sketchy ass eye. Because there's some people who I saw, like specifically Yara Shahidi, tweeting, posting every day about Gaza, Ukraine, all these things. Oh my God, the Palestinians, peace for this person, peace for that person. Okay, well now something's happening like right in her backyard, right? Isn't she's putting on a show right now in Los Angeles, and all these raids are happening in LA and Miami. This is like literally, this is like right where you are. This is like literally probably something that like you should be talking about, have an opinion about, especially if you're going to be like some activist. And this is what I mean about like pseudo activism and really talking about the shit that's going on in your own life. Like, the reason I appreciate the conservatives so much is because they're like kind of at least I will say the Daily Wire conservatives. We can talk about the things that happened with Candace Owens. I was planning to make a video about that anyway. But let's just go back for a second, because I still appreciate them as a far right, like conservative platform whose stances don't really change based on the person, right? Like they are as harsh on bad behavior from white media actors as they are toward black media actors, and I appreciate that. So they put out a video about kind of the disgustingness of Diddy and they even credited Cat Williams. And that's another thing I also appreciate about this. Cat Williams came on the Club Shay Shay podcast. Now, you know, I don't think it was like scripted or anything, and no one, I don't know who knew like what he was planning to talk about, but he actually just talked about a lot of things and a lot of, how do you say, like key moments or topics that a lot of people had questions about. Like it wasn't just him. So many people had questions about the topics that he brought up. And just one little clip about the things that he said regarding Diddy, it affiliated with a lot of people. There's other channels and other stories that I saw come out where this girl, Tisa, hey, do you want to introduce yourself? Okay, no, you don't. Okay, fine, Brew. That's Brew, he's shy. Anyway, so Tisa starts talking about how, like, there was a studio. Okay, it sounds like Justin Combs and P. Diddy were in the studio, and there was like some other people there, like a security guard and some other people. Now, supposedly, like Justin goes into the bathroom, the security guard or some other person goes into the bathroom, and then all of a sudden there's like other people in the studio. It wasn't just them. But then the security guard gets shot, like right in the shoulder, while it's like Justin, his dad, and the security guard are in the bathroom, and the security guard gets just shot in the shoulder. Now, it doesn't sound like this is in a music studio where there are a bunch of other people there. It sounds like Diddy paid off the NYPD or LAPD or something, so no charges were filed or anything. Like, no one gets incriminated, no one goes to jail, nothing. And even the guy who got shot didn't even go to the hospital. But there's like footage, like news stories that this happened. So it's very clear, like, Diddy shot somebody over something that was said about his son in the bathroom, and then just like went free. And then this wasn't the first time that happened, because some other story came out about some woman who was like, there was some incident in New York, right? So they're in a club in New York, and I don't know exactly what happened, but someone was angered, and it sounds like Diddy takes out his gun and shoots. The bullet hits some, like, just club. She was just a woman in the club. She didn't really have anything to do with, like, the anger, but she was just, like, a bystander. Gets shot in the head from the bullet from his gun. And then, you know, she is, like, all the awful things happen to her because, like, she has to, you know, take a whole bunch of leave from her job. You know, she can't do this. She can't do that. Then she files a suit that's like, Diddy shot me in the head. And I guess he's upset because she files the suit when he actually did shoot her. And so he starts like getting all these people to harass her. There were goons who started coming at her. Eventually, I think he like settles a suit with her. But she comes on and talks about like how awful it was just because she wanted justice for getting shot in the head by him. I think that like, I'm not really sure. Like, growing up for me, I was definitely growing up on the West Coast, where I was a really big fan of Tupac. And Tupac and Diddy have always had this little beef or whatever. I honestly don't know about the Notorious B.I.G., but I think there was also beef with Notorious B.I.G. and Tupac. Either way, like, I don't personally care. Like, I'm not like an East Coast, West Coast beefer, because I don't think I understand the beef. Um, but I always thought it was like very strange that, grown-ups, grown men specifically, are picking sides over turfs that it's like they don't really own the places. Maybe they do, maybe I don't know. It was all very strange. But then this comes out and it just feels more and more like these are like grown ass men who like don't understand how to live in society. That is the bigger theme, right? Because if they did understand how to live in society, they would understand that there's like other people around, and like you have to account and be respectful to the other people or there will be problems. And now it's just like he's become like a domestic terrorist. He's terrorizing everyone. And it's like people have known about the terror and they're just like, it's fine, it's fine. It's like, it is actually not fine. It is not fine. I think that hip hop is just such a problem. Hip hop and rap is a really big problem. And I think that like it is causing people to step away from a current reality that is, there's a real reality, right? Like we all live in society, and I understand that there are people who have more resources than others, but also like I don't know, I don't think it's okay to move around as though like your priorities, how can I say, I don't think that you should not care about your own. You should definitely prioritize yourself. I'm not telling you not to do that. You should absolutely do that. But I don't think that it's okay to pretend as though others don't exist, because others do exist. Um, and it's just important to just be respectful, you know?